What didn't you know until you had a girlfriend? Story 1. They don't know what they're doing either, so we're not alone in that. Story 2. How much other women want you once you're valuable enough to have a girlfriend. It's like no women exist around you. As soon as you're taken, suddenly you're attractive. Women will flirt openly and try to get with you. It's maddening. Story 3. They have emotional spidey sense. A woman I was talking to mid-conversation picked up on a feeling I had the second it entered my head out of nowhere and asked me about it. It was like she read my mind. Story 4. Shower water is always hotter than hell. I remember my sister left the water running because I was showering right after. The second it hit my body, it felt like the devil himself licked my back. I shut that faucet off immediately. Story 5. Since I'm a late bloomer, like most of my friends, we put women and relationships on a pedestal. Once you're in your first relationship, you realize it's not a Disney movie. Honestly, it's overhyped compared to what's been drilled into your head. It won't completely change your life. Real change is up to you to be happier. No relationship can do that. Story 6. Little things matter. They might seem small or insignificant to us, but mean the world to them. After years together, the girl I was with told me that holding and squeezing her hand during a movie thrilled her. Random little gifts on random days keep things fun and light. Story 7. Be honest and don't lie. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. The more I read this, the more I realize it's general relationship advice, regardless of gender. My dad told me, no matter what you do in life, have fun. I live and love by that. So far, 10 years married, 5-year-old son. Story 8. Guys don't realize how hard it is to decide what to eat until they have a girlfriend. Okay, I'm not picky, but not having an opinion isn't enough. The right answer is wanting whatever she wants, without her telling you what that is. Welcome to hell, buddy. You'll get it when you suggest 10 different places in an hour and she still wants more. Story 9. She's hungry all the time. It's like defusing a ticking bomb in the dark. Story 10. Don't try to guess how she feels. Sometimes, even she doesn't know. Just wait for her to figure it out and talk when she's ready. Knowing this would have saved me 5 months of intense emotional pain and insecurity I've never fully recovered from. Story 11. They'll talk for hours, one-sided, about nonsense. Like, the best friend of their coworker's daughter is having relationship drama with her baby daddy because of his second ex-wife. It's a daily challenge not to zone out. You quickly learn the reliable But stay sharp if she asks, "Were you listening? What did I just say?" You better be ready. Story 12. Their limbs are made of ice. They absorb heat and life while sleeping. They hug you with frozen limbs and steal your warmth. They feed on us. Story 13. No offense, but after a couple long-term relationships, I realized how messed up a woman's body is. It's a 24/7 science experiment with constant reactions to everything. For guys, nothing. No maintenance. We don't worry unless something goes really wrong. Story 14. The sheer amount of hair that falls out. In the shower, on the floor, clogging the vacuum in the washer. Sometimes I find hairs tangled in my crotch and have no idea how they got there. Story 15. Discomfort is everyday life for them. Periods, clothes and makeup to look pretty, people harassing them. They're in a constant flow of discomfort. Women seem to accept an endless parade of uncomfortable choices that would make me want to claw my eyes out. Story 16. I never knew what a soft sheet was until I spent the night with a girl for the first time. Who knew about thread count? Women do. Most men? Nope. I was 17. I lay on her bed and said, "Why the hell is this bed soft as a cloud?" She laughed, thinking I was joking. When she lay on my bed, she got it. My sheets felt like cardboard. That's when she taught me about thread count. Mind-blowing. Story 17. How human they are. Before my first girlfriend, even though my brain knew better, I was shocked they had bad breath, got sick, threw up, ate, slept, and used the bathroom just like us. I learned how wild things are, like even they get grossed out by the weird stuff coming out of their bodies every 28 days. My emotional fear of women vanished. They live and breathe on this planet just like us. Society and media have dehumanized women in pop culture, turning them into brain-damaged submissives or perfect immortal goddesses. I realized how brainwashed I'd been. I knew it all before, but there's a difference between being told a truth and living it. Story 18. What really matters is intent, at least with the right woman. A random chocolate bar on a bad day often meant way more than a nice dinner or night out. Story 19. When they complain, it doesn't always mean they want you to fix it or that they've reached a negative conclusion. They're just thinking out loud in a way most men don't. Usually just say, "Wow, that sucks," and give a hug. One awful day years later, my wife finally told me she didn't want a solution. She only had to say it once. Story 20. How much a good woman can bring out the best in you and help you believe in yourself. I'm shocked how many men just chase the hottest girl possible for a trophy wife. A great woman is truly incomparable for so many reasons. Not saying a great woman can't be super hot, don't come for me. In my life, I'd only known bad women, ones who put me down, cheated, mocked my emotions. Terrible people. I was broken. Then I met my wife. We knew each other in high school, but went separate ways for a while. She rebuilt me piece by piece and made me want to be better. She showed patience when the storm raged, kindness when I was cornered. She showed me my worth, realizing that, with her help, I wanted to give her the world. But I had to level up my career and myself to do it. So I started my career and got therapy for things she couldn't help with. Here we are, 13 years married, 16 together, 2 kids, and I still feel like I need to keep improving for her and them. Story 21. Birth control has truly horrendous side effects, and it's sad modern medicine hasn't found safer options. Story 22. I learned a ton when I got married, and even more 25 years later when I had a daughter. One early shock: how expensive it is to be a woman, just bathroom, beauty, and sanitary products. My wife doesn't even go for super luxury brands. Story 23. I honestly didn't realize how dangerous and widespread eating disorders are until my ex shared her story. She taught me a lot. When younger, it got so bad she was in a wheelchair, risk of heart attack if she stood. Story 24. How to properly treat a woman as a partner. I had no idea how to be in a relationship or treat someone. Grew up in a conservative family where my dad was extremely dismissive of my mom, and not much different with aunts and uncles. I ruined my relationship with the love of my life. That said, the last 13 years I've learned from my mistakes, so if I ever get that kind of love again, I won't screw it up. It haunts me to this day, but I accept it as a brutal lesson I needed and will never forget. For clarity, I never abused her. I just wasn't there when things got tough financially, buried myself in work, school, hobbies. She needed me. I failed. Story 25. I haven't had super close relationships, but in my late teens, starting to connect with girls, I realized sometimes they just want to vent without a solution. I mostly socialized with guys before, where, beyond jokes and nonsense, we swap ideas. With a girl, you just listen and take her side. Only give solutions if asked. Now even my sisters and mom vent to me, something they never did when I was a kid. I don't mind. I'm low drama, but love hearing other people's drama. Story 26. They know a ton about a ton of people because other girls tell them, and vice versa. They've got all the tea. My kid's mom and I still text occasionally. I always end up asking, "What's the gossip?" Glad I live quieter. Damn. Men's business is everywhere. Story 27. Being in a relationship stabilizes your life in a way many guys don't realize. Single. Dating is volatile. One day you feel like $1,000,000, the next a penny. A relationship smooths all that chaos. Story 28. Honestly, this applies to everyone, but experience taught me, watch what people do, not what they say. I regretted believing a girlfriend's words once or twice. Not judging, just how people are. My mom raised me thinking women are perfect gifts from God, incapable of wrong, always honest, say what they mean. Of course, that's not healthy thinking. No one alive is remotely that innocent. Seeing reality clash with what I was taught wasn't fun. Again, applies to all genders. Story 29. Every woman has a life-altering, transformative event waiting that men can't comprehend. Menopause. My wife is starting it. It's the most distressing thing she's ever gone through. Depression, anxiety, anger, confusion. It's just unfair they have to deal with that. Story 30. Guys don't realize how messy and gross many girls are until they get experience. Well, not all, but many. I've been with my wife 15 years. I cannot get her to clean. She is chaos incarnate. I'm like Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill, only for it to roll back by morning. I clean, she messes, I clean, she messes. I'm a practicing architect, built for efficiency. I'm shocked, honestly. I've done everything to make keeping the house tidy easy. Story 31. When my wife and I were dating, she was in college 3 hours away. Summers, she came home, where her parents and I lived/worked, and basically lived with me. That's when I learned everything about periods, flow, and women in general. Story 32. So, what on Vito men not know until they have a girlfriend? They know nothing. We know nothing. I have 3 sisters, knew they had periods, but that's it. No clue about pads. Light days, heavy days, flow, nothing. The first summer my wife lived with me was a summer of learning. Story 33. It goes way back, but growing up, I kind of bought into men and women are so different. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus stuff decades before the book. Once I got close to real women and intimate with them, I realized that's nonsense. Women are as variable as men, with way more in common than different. Society creates contexts that make it seem different and drills it into you a million ways until you accept it as truth. Women are people with a tiny amount of biological differences and a ton of socially imposed ones. Strip away the social stuff, they'll love you as much as most men and more than many. Story 34. Women's relationships with other women are radically different from men's with other men. From what I've seen, they talk serious stuff. Guys just talk nonsense. I can see someone I haven't spoken to in years. My girlfriend shocked I don't know what they do after chatting all day. Story 35. They want their feelings validated. Example, I go on a week-long guys trip, and she's sad I'm leaving, just validate it. Tell her I love her, give a hug, say I'll miss her. Don't act like her sadness means she doesn't want me to go. It just means she'll be sad and wants validation. Story 36. The better you communicate, the higher the ceiling for how amazing your relationship can be. Don't hide anything. Be open. You can only be who you are. The sooner she knows that person, the sooner she'll know if you're building paradise or hell together. If you don't share because you're scared she'll get mad, freak out, cry, leave, tell someone or laugh. Say it anyway and find out if she's the one. Living a lie to maintain status is a prison you build yourself. I promise it'll be a wonderful life. Brutal honesty has been my greatest virtue. I credit it almost entirely for what I consider a perfect life. Story 37. Women, men, and any other gender aren't actually that different, and most differences are socially imposed. When you know someone deeply and see their truest essence, you realize people aren't that different and relate way more than it seems at first. Story 38. Women don't get dressed up for men's attention, at least not always. Largely, it's about wanting to feel pretty because it makes them feel good. Not crazy. But back then I didn't care about my looks and thought the only reason a woman would dress up was for guys. Having a girlfriend gave me tons of insight I couldn't understand due to my own biases and limited perspective. Story 39. You should trust a woman's intuition about the women you date. My female friends and family told me she'd bring trouble. The engagement ended about a year later when she got increasingly toxic and unstable as the facade faded. I couldn't see the subtle signs as a young guy blinded by lust and love, but the women in my life saw what I was too blind to notice.